Hello and welcome to Gearhead 704. I'm Matt, and today we are ripping stuff out of the engine bay because I want to paint the engine bay. We're taking the whole dash out.
One of the things that I like to do is to show you guys every step of the way. So we're just going to do a quick overview how to remove the dash.
We're going to time and see how quick I can do it. So. All right, guys, if you missed the last video, you definitely need to check that out. That was the first part of this series, and it's just a two-part series, but that was the first part of the two-part series where I am removing the dash. I wanted to be very comprehensive and cover everything. So I ended up splitting it up. So go ahead, if you haven't seen the last video, check it out. But now we are gonna go ahead and move into and time how long it takes me to remove the dash. And I'm also gonna give you some highlights along the way because I did run into a few snags on this car. So I do wanna point those out to you. There's stuff that you might run into as well. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump back into the video. All right, guys, let's see how long it takes me. I'm starting the timer. All right, guys, I'm about to start right here on this. I did want to point out, though, that my interior, I think it's been out of the car before. There's definitely, so I took some of this stuff out. Obviously, the transmission is dropped because we're rebuilding the engine and transmission right now. But a lot of other stuff has been out before, so I may not have some pieces that you guys are going to have on yours, especially if yours is completely stock. It's just giving that little disclaimer, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start tearing into this, and let's see how well I paid attention. Let's go. Let's try this. We're at one of those little highlight moments. So this cable right here is about what I take off. So Matt, you're telling me it's a bender cable?
It's a blender cable,
actually.
Blender. This is the cable that, when you turn the knob, that moves the door from heater core to evaporator. So that's what makes it hot and cold. It's cable controlled. It snaps in there. You got to compress it with needle nose. So you compress here, and then, come on. Let me move this knob over. There we go.
Oh, cool.
Now we got some room to work with here. There we go. So it goes through there. Once you compress it, you pull it out. This comes up, and it's kind of like a double hook. So to get that out, what you got to do, you can see it from the side. Press these two tabs, and when you compress it, they'll fit through that hole. So you got to compress this first, pull this out, and then you can unhook it from the gear.
Once it's past the hole.
Yeah, and this is, of course, is a little vacuum harness. You can, take those two 10mm nuts off, and that vacuum harness comes right off.
Yeah, we didn't cover that before, guys, but I did do it in the time lapse. So here's the little 10mm nuts.
Right.
So guys, you may have seen me get the column out of the way in the wrong way, right? I actually kind of twisted it off in the time lapse. Well, here is why. It's supposed to have screws in it, but this one actually had a 1/4 inch socket. See, there's no screw head there. So my screwdriver was not working. Let me show you the other screws. But yeah, guys, this is what it should have had in it. That's why I was trying to use a screwdriver. So that was no bueno. I don't know, a long time ago, someone owned this car, that must have happened. And that's why I was having trouble. Also, the dash itself, see how loose it is? I haven't removed everything yet. So, oh yeah, you can see right here. I don't know if you guys can tell, see from the outside. So there's definitely stuff that's missing. So that just means it should come apart quicker for me, right? So you heard Matt say yes. So just another highlight. Anyway, back to the time lapse, gonna keep ripping it apart. Another highlight, guys, another thing different on my car. So I was getting ready to pull the 14mm right here where my finger's pointing, but I've got this thing in the way, and I'm like, Matt, don't I have to take this out first? And he said, oh, this is aftermarket. Maybe it's part of an alarm or something like that. So I got to get this off, but hopefully you guys won't run into that if your car's all stock. Guys, another thing I ran into right here on the ignition switch. I guess it started to separate at some point. You can see that right there. So there's a zip tie actually around it. Really, the ignition switch needs to be replaced. You can see right there where it's starting to separate. So we'll definitely replace that, but yeah, the zip tie was holding it together there. Whoa. I know I just cut in here, guys, but I gotta cut in here again. Check out the other side of that ignition switch. This is the side on the car, and look, it's broken. Talking to Matt, check this out. I mean, this thing is completely, you know, destroyed. So this could eventually be a fire hazard. The rest of the ignition switch is in pieces. I mean, I've got more pieces of it here, but as soon as I disconnected this fell all apart. All right, we're gonna have to replace this, obviously. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's see if we can get the dash out.
There you go. Steering column's out. Woohoo! That's all you gotta do to take the steering column out. Take that off.
Guys, another highlight here. These particular bolts here, I have not undone these at all. You can see how loose they are. The dash was loose. I mean, the bolts are there. It just, for some reason, I mean, this one over here is completely missing. This one's already out. So yeah, it's almost out, but I have not removed any of these myself yet at all. And you can see how loose they are. So it's almost out. I think I removed those, and then I've got one here on the bottom, the one that Matt pointed out earlier that kind of hooks in like this. I've just got it's the one you don't have to loosen all the way. And it's somewhere up in here. So I'm gonna find that, remove those, and I think the dash is about to come out.
The harness is the only thing keeping this dash attached right now.
Okay.
So we got a few harness, that's the fuse block, that's supposed to be attached to the dash.
Yeah, it's broken.
Yeah. So this wiring harness, right, this portion of the wiring harness, this is the one that goes down below the driver's kick panel. All those plugs right there, we got to unplug. We got the neutral safety switch for a 5-speed, which are right here. There's a couple plugs right there. If it has cruise control, there's going to be a cruise control module right here with 2 flat plugs you got to unplug. You got your brake light switch to unplug, and then after that, we just pull it through the dash, or pull the rest of the harness through the firewall.
And we're doing that just for us. They wouldn't have to do that for their dash removal, right?
They don't have to. What I do, if I don't remove the dash completely, I'm gonna lay a whole bunch of blankets and stuff down here and have the shifter removed so you can lay the dash down and it not get damaged.
Okay.
Because otherwise, a lot of people will lay it on the shifter and then it scratches up the pad, the AC vents down here, you break stuff. And you know, a lot of people leave the steering column in, can chafe up against stuff.
Okay. So I feel like we just did a bunch of steps in the time lapse that I wanted to point out. So we're still working on these wiring harnesses, and I had to disconnect all of these harnesses over here on the left-hand side. Remember at the beginning, Matt showed that tool. Let me get the tool. This tool was invaluable for getting those connectors loose, and we had a couple on the other side. So next thing we're doing, I believe, is we're gonna push all the wires through the firewall. So that's the next step, but you have to get those connectors loose so that you can actually do that. So I wanted to show you guys that because I know we were just kind of in the middle of it. Still going. I'm going to reveal my time in a second, but let me tell you, it's a long time for me. All right, so yeah, this is the grommet I'm trying to go ahead and move out of the way that's right over there so I can pull the wiring harness through. So you got to push that down out of the way first. Yeah. This is what it looks like here.
Yeah, what I do is you kind of just get a pry bar in there and then collapse it to get under that lip, and then it'll pop through.
Yeah, so that's what this is for. So that's what we're doing next.
At that point, you just kind of push it through, and it's through.
She's out. She's out. And this is what the inside of the car looks like with the dash all the way out. It is all the way out. So we have a ways to go here on the SSP, but we are making some progress, so, yep. Anyway, let me show you guys what the dash looks like. Just like that, the dash is out. It's finally out of the car. That took me, hold on, look at my time. Let's see, I'm gonna show you guys. All right, here we go. You see that? Yeah, 2 hours and 14 minutes, almost 2 hours and 15 minutes. So that's how long it took me. Considering I'd never done it before, it's really not that bad. One thing I will say, I had a very old car and my hands, they're pretty, as you can see, they're pretty black. So I would recommend gloves. I usually use gloves, but they're very sticky. So, but the dash is out and that was fun. All right, next thing for this car, gotta remove, I guess we gotta do this wiring harness over here. Basically, I want to paint it, so there's still a few things I got to get out of the engine bay. We're getting closer on that, and this was part of the goal. So, big thanks to Matt. Appreciate your help today. Always. And guys, I know this is a very long video. Normally our how-tos are more pinpoint, but we felt like we did some looking around and we didn't see one that we liked how it covered the dash. So that's why we wanted to make our own. So this is how you pull the dash. I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. Obviously, we've got other stuff to do and we will get into that in a follow-up. That's it for this one. I'm tired. If you can't tell, I'm pretty tired. So Matt was just asking me, are you okay? And I was like, I'm tired. Thanks for staying to the end. I hope this really helped you guys. It's not my normal kind of videos. We weren't really in depth, but I'm glad because I wanted this out there. So if you did enjoy the video, please hit the like button. If you're stopping in for the first time, please subscribe because I do upload 2 times a week, every Sunday and Wednesday. And we'll see you next time on Gearhead 704. Guys, another thing I ran into on the ignition module here, it started to separate, I guess. And yeah, thanks. The rest of the ignition module, it's in pieces, guys. So yeah, sorry, keep saying that wrong way. So we have a ways to go on Tar Heel Fox. What am I saying? Tar Heel Fox. So we have a ways to go here on the SSP. We'll see you next time here on Gearhead 704. On Gear.